Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Let's Talk Sport coverage of the 2022 Austrian Grand Prix. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope the sun is out where you are as well. Absolutely beautiful day here in Wales, watching the coverage here, and it looks an amazing day in the Austrian Hills at the Red Bull Ring as well. So, hopefully we're going to have an exciting race. It is a very short circuit as well, so I think it's around about 71 laps of the race today. Of course, we had the sprint race yesterday. Okay, sprint race. Please let me know where you are joining the stream today as well. But let me know your thoughts on the Formula 1 sprint race yesterday. It was okay. Again, I'm still not won over by the sprint races. I do like the fact that qualifying's on a Friday because it's a great end to the week. But I think still a lot to prove with the sprint racing. But of course, we saw yesterday Max Verstappen basically dominate the sprint race and easily took the pole position. We did see obviously the Ferrari cars of Sainz and Leclerc battling, and I don't think that really helped in terms of trying to catch Max Verstappen, because by the time they'd finished squabbling for second place, he was already 2 or 3 seconds up the road. And like I said, this is a very short circuit, so I think it was about 26 laps yesterday, and he was already quite a distance away. So hopefully today they don't do too much battling at the start, do the Ferrari boys with the main goal of catching Max Verstappen. I'll go through the grid order now as well, because that's appearing on the screen at the moment. So starting at the back, Valtteri Bottas has a pit lane start now as well, because he's altered some of his rear wing. We've got Fernando Alonso starting at the back. Sebastian Vettel starts 18th after his issue with Alex Albon. Nicholas Latifi is 17th. Yuki Tsunoda is 16th. We've got Alex Albon in 15th. He had a 5-second penalty. Pierre Gasly 14th. Zhou Guanyu is 13th. We've got Lance Stroll is 12th. Daniel Ricciardo 11th. He made some places yesterday in the sprint race. His teammate Norris did as well. He starts 10th. Mick Schumacher 9th. Great battling between him and Lewis Hamilton yesterday. Hamilton himself starts 8th after managing to overtake Mick Schumacher in the end. Magnussen starts in 7th place. We've got Esteban Ocon making his 100th start, I believe, in Formula 1 today. He starts 6th. Sergio Perez is in 5th. George Russell, a bit of a lonely race yesterday, but he manages to stay in 4th place. Carlos Sainz is 3rd. We've got Charles Leclerc in 2nd. And of course, as I say, Max Verstappen is on pole position. So like I said, let me know in the comments below where you're watching the stream from today. It's very much appreciated. It is just me on the stream. So like I said, if anybody wants to put any comments during the stream, of course, let me know and I'll try and answer them or give my thoughts on a few things. And like I said, there is a poll on at the moment asking who you think will win the Austrian Grand Prix. So as I say, let me know in the comment section below. So we're just waiting for the formation lap to begin. Like I said, there was a couple of issues for Lewis Hamilton. So just as I turned on the coverage, as I was getting everything set up this afternoon, we did see that that Mercedes were checking the brakes while the car was on the grid. So they were a little bit concerned about that, but everything looks to be okay. Lewis in the car, there doesn't seem to be any issues. I think Toto Wolff said that it's all been fixed. So that's good for them. Seeing a lot of course, Dutch support this weekend, and of course today, and really happy that Max Verstappen's on pole. Very disappointing to see some of the things that are going on around the Austrian Grand Prix, and Formula 1 have had to put some comments out saying how disappointing they are with some of the events that are going on throughout the weekend. And of course that is disappointing. Nobody wants to be seeing that. Everybody should be welcome going to a Grand Prix weekend, and Austria is a beautiful place to go and watch a race. I'd love to go there in the future, but disappointing to see some of the comments that have been going around social media over the last 24 hours. So hopefully that's rectified, because that shouldn't be the case. And as I'm saying that, the cars are on the formation lap now. We just got to keep an eye out, because obviously in the sprint race yesterday we did have Fernando Alonso struggling, and obviously his car was still on the jack, the tyre blankets were still on, and he didn't end up doing the sprint race at all. It looks like all the cars are away. As I mentioned, Valtteri Bottas is doing a pit lane start today. He was meant to be at the back of the grid because he'd had some engine penalties for changing the internal combustion engine, but I think they altered some things on the rear wing as well. So in doing that, after the Parc Fermé conditions between qualifying and the sprint race, or between the sprint race and the main race, he's having to start from the pit lane today. So somebody to keep out for. Hopefully, I'd like to see Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen doing some progress with the Haas. Like I said, we saw some great battling yesterday between Magnussen, Schumacher, and Lewis Hamilton. You can tell Mick Schumacher wasn't very happy after the sprint race because he felt like he was the faster car and maybe should have swapped with Magnussen. Magnussen was doing a good job, to be fair, helping him keep the DRS, but the last couple of laps he just got outside that 1 second, so Lewis Hamilton was able to capitalise. But yeah, hopefully we'll see some more battling between them. The Formula 1 Austrian Grand Prix is the biggest ticketed event in Austria. So great progress, managing to get the fans. Like I said, there are a lot of Dutch support, of course, for Max Verstappen this weekend, and it being the Red Bull Ring as well. It bound to, of course, get some support. So, and of course, Sergio Perez did get a lot of cheering yesterday as he was making his way up the grid. So I'll just put my headphone in so I can hear any of the team radios as we're going along. Lot of support. In terms of who I think is going to win, I think it's depending on if the Ferrari boys work together, because I think if they don't and they fight between each other, then unless there's going to be an issue for Max Verstappen, I think he's going to comfortably take this. We saw how good he was in qualifying. We saw how good he was in the sprint race yesterday. If they don't work together, he is going to disappear. And we're seeing Fernando Alonso going very slowly to his grid box, making the front boys wait. Classic tactics from a two-time world champion. We saw Sebastian Vettel doing it yesterday as well. We know how it can take a long time on the grid. The tyres get a little bit colder if you're starting at the front and the guys behind are going a bit slowly getting round. But yeah, both Vettel and Alonso taking a while there, so that's very good tactics. So green flag, all the cars look okay. We're going 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are away. Max Verstappen gets a good start. Charles Leclerc, not the best start. Carlos Sainz and George Russell look like they're battling Charles Leclerc. George Russell's gone down the inside. Carlos Sainz has gone wide. He's gone off onto the runoff. George Russell should probably get that place back, but Russell and Carlos Sainz are fighting for that third place at the minute. Everything looks a bit tidy from behind, so it's just Russell and Sainz. Perez looks like he's going down the side of George Russell as well. George Russell's been a bit squeezed, so Carlos Sainz keeps the third place. Perez and Russell will be fighting for that fourth position. It looks like Mercedes have got the better traction there, so I think Russell should keep that place. He goes down the inside. Perez is going around the outside. Oh, no, contact. George Russell and Sergio Perez have made contact, a bit like what we saw against Hamilton and Albon a few years ago. Perez is in the gravel, so he will be at the back of the pack unless he's had damage as well. So it's always difficult when you try and go around the outside there. We saw, like I said, Albon tried to do it a few years ago on Hamilton, and he just run out of room, and it was worth a go from Perez, but yeah, it just didn't happen there. So disappointing for Perez. Vettel saying on the team radio he's got damage. I'm not sure where from because we haven't seen that yet. But and in all of that, Max Verstappen has got a decent gap between Charles Leclerc. So just over a second gap. It's just come up on the screen between Verstappen and Leclerc. Incident between Tsunoda and Albon is noted. Starting procedure infringement. We saw infringements yesterday, but nothing really came of it. So not too sure what they're going to think of that. And we've got the two McLarens. Have they swapped places? They have. So Daniel Ricciardo has overtaken Lando Norris during that first lap. So, yeah. Perez is in the pits. Okay, so Perez is going into the pits. He's got a set of hard compound tyres, so he's going to go the long distance now. But they are saying he's got damage in one of his side pods, so that's not going to help his aero going around the track. So he will be a little bit hindered during this race now. But the Red Bull's still pretty fast, so it depends on how much damage he's really got, and whether he can still get a couple of points here and maybe finish in 9th or 8th position. the laps are so short, DRS has already been enabled. That's how quick this circuit is. 1 minute 10, fastest lap so far for Max Verstappen. That's how quick this circuit is. As I say, 71 laps of this circuit. Incident between Perez and Russell is noted for causing a collision, but I think it would be a little bit harsh if you gave a penalty for that. I'd have to see another replay, but just seeing Tsunoda, Zhou, Alonso and Vettel are the only guys, and Perez now, on the hard compound tyre. Everybody else is on the medium at the moment. As I was saying, Mick Schumacher putting some pressure on Lewis Hamilton here. That Haas and that Ferrari power unit is really looking pretty good for the Haas team at the minute. Gunter Steiner will be very happy at the moment, but annoyingly, it's fast for the Haas, but both Ferraris at the front are struggling to keep up with Max Verstappen. I know Leclerc's in that 1 second window, so he should have DRS. He has just got fastest lap, so if he can stay within DRS, that's pretty good going. I think Sainz is just out of DRS for Leclerc. Esteban Ocon's catching George Russell a little bit there, so I don't know if George Russell had damage from that Perez incident. We're going to see the race start, but not really much. It was pretty decent in terms of race start for everybody, really. It was just that incident between Russell and Perez. Carlos Sainz went a little bit wide. I'm trying to see where the damage that Vettel had, but it's disappeared a little bit on screen. Good respectful racing between Russell and Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez there, going into turn 3. Yeah, so hopefully they're gonna keep this here, so I can see the Russell and Perez incident. So George Russell is on the inside line. Yeah, but Perez is going around the outside. I think. Where's Russell going to go there? Yeah, Russell saying nothing I can do. I'm pretty fair on that. I think that's just a racing incident. I'm not sure where Russell's going to go there, to be fair. Perez is saying he gave him enough room, but the problem is I don't see where Russell was going to go. He couldn't move further to the left, further to the right, because he's already on the curb. Yeah, Hamilton there getting a bit out of shape going into the turn 1. I think Mick Schumacher has capitalised on that. I think he's now ahead of Lewis Hamilton, which is a bit annoying for Lewis because he spent most of the sprint race yesterday behind Mick Schumacher. So no further investigation between Tsunoda and Albon for that starting procedure. So again, a bit like yesterday, nothing really happened in that. Like I said, we're on lap 5 of 71. Gap between Verstappen and Leclerc about 9/10 of a second. 2 seconds is the gap to Carlos Sainz. So they're sort of pulling away a little bit here. George Russell is 5 seconds behind the leaders, and he's got a little bit of a DRS train appearing here. He's got Ocon behind, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, and Lewis Hamilton. Norris is about 2 seconds behind this little group. But yeah, we've got Russell, Ocon, Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher and Hamilton all in this little train at the moment. And then I think behind them we've got Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Gasly, Albon, Tsunoda, Zhou. Basically the rest of them are all within a second of each other. So again, there's a huge train behind Norris, to be fair. Trying to see, the map thing doesn't look to have loaded, which is a bit annoying. See if I restart it. If it's okay. Hopefully that's appearing on the screen now. I'm not sure why it wasn't. So hopefully you get the idea of where they are on the track as well. Annoyingly for Perez, it looks like Verstappen is going to be overtaking his teammate at the minute. And if you can see on the map tracker, Perez will be hoping for a safety car. I'd love to see a bit of a battle between Leclerc and Verstappen. Gap's about 0.6 of a second, but we're not really seeing much at the minute. The cameras aren't focusing on them because they're looking at this Russell, Ocon, Magnussen, Schumacher and Hamilton train, but we're getting a little bit of a coverage here now. So Leclerc is a bit closer to Verstappen. Bottas is in the pits at the minute, which is a bit strange. He's on the medium compound tyre. Or is he? They've just took the medium icon away, so I'm not quite sure what Bottas is on in terms of tyre compound now, but he has just come in the pits. Come on, Charles. Let's make this a bit of a battle in this race. The problem is that Max might actually get DRS from Perez in a minute. Perez might be asked to just try and get this second window for DRS here. Yeah, so it's... Ooh, Leclerc had a little bit of a look there going into turn 3. He's a little bit further away now because he made that mover at turn 3. He's still got DRS, so he should catch back up to the pack. But they are catching Sergio Perez a little bit here. So again, you know, Perez is got issues with damage. So everyone's only made about one or two places in this race so far, apart from Perez, who's lost 15 due to that contact with George Russell. Max Verstappen might have DRS from his teammate here in a minute. But he is going to get... Oh, he's already gone. He's already been let through. Yeah, he's already been let through. So Max isn't going to get the benefit of DRS now. Carlos might get it from Perez, however. Leclerc a lot closer to Max Verstappen now. Again, he's going to have DRS heading from turn 1 up to turn 3. Turn 2 is basically not even a corner, but he's a little bit closer. He's a little bit closer. Yeah, he's not going to make a manoeuvre this one, but if he gets a good exit off turn 3 here with DRS... Oh, he's got a little bit of an oversteer there, so that might not help him. But at the minute, just keep putting Verstappen under pressure. Maybe don't make a move, but just the fact that you're in his mirrors, just weaving a little bit to tell Max that you're in that area is probably enough. We know Max is cool under pressure, of course, but as we see, Norris has got a warning for track limits. Obviously, we saw track limit issues throughout this weekend. Obviously, Perez had to go down the order in the sprint race from qualifying on Friday. Carlos is struggling to keep up with these two at the minute, but I think that is only down to the fact that Leclerc's got DRS from Max Verstappen in 3 different parts of the track, so that's not helping Carlos. The fact that he doesn't have it, both Verstappen and Leclerc are able to pull away a little bit more from him, and then there's a big gap between Sainz and Norris. There's definitely a gap between Sainz and Norris, but there's a gap between Sainz and Russell at the minute. Oh, Leclerc going down the inside. Oh, Max has been pushed out wide a little bit. Oh, Leclerc might have a good run here, though, into turn 3. He's got DRS again. Is he going to make a mover? Oh, he's going to try and go down the inside. Doesn't work. He's going to go around the outside again. That didn't work for Perez. Oh, he's had a little bit of a lock-up. Whoa. Okay, so it took 10 laps, really, to have a bit of a pressure between Leclerc and Verstappen. Leclerc's got... Russell's got a 5-second penalty for that instant. Oh, Verstappen saying he might not be able to hold this. I think that's harsh to give Russell a 5-second penalty. I think Hamilton got it when he collided with Albon a few years ago, but for me, first lap, harsh, I think, to be honest. But at least it's only 5 seconds, I suppose, and not like 10 or something. So, I'm just seeing where the gap is between Russell. Yeah, Russell's got that huge train behind it, so 5 seconds will probably put him back in 9th or 10th. So, ooh, Leclerc, no, can't make the same move in turn 3. Don't have to keep making it lap after lap. As long as you're putting pressure on each lap, you can just maybe bide your time. Yeah, not making a move this lap, so Max is in front for another lap. But yeah, Max saying on the radio that he doesn't know how long he can hold this, making it feel like he thinks the Ferraris are a lot quicker in the race. But Sainz is actually catching the pack up again. The gap's gone from about 2.2 to 1.4 behind Leclerc, so he's maybe turned up the power for sure. So he's catching this lot. I don't know whether maybe the actual fact that they had a bit of a battle going a couple of laps ago, whether that's allowed Carlos to close the pack a bit, but yeah. Let's just see how this lap goes. Leclerc a little bit closer again on this lap. Lap 12 we are now. George Russell's into the pit, so they're probably going to serve that 5 seconds now, get it out of the way. Leclerc again, close, but hasn't made a manoeuvre again. Albon's in the pits at the same time. Just see where this manoeuvre goes. Is Leclerc going to make a move? Oh, he is! He is! Oh, I didn't think that was going to work, but Leclerc down the inside. Both of them very respectful there. I thought Max had shut the door, but Charles Leclerc making that move there. What a move there down the inside going into turn 4. Oh, we got a little bit of oversteer coming out of that, but Leclerc, wow, and he's 7 tenths ahead already. That was brilliant. That was a great manoeuvre there from Charles Leclerc. I want to watch that again. I didn't think he was going to make that move. I thought he was just sticking out a little bit for Max to see him in his mirrors, but yeah, he committed to that move. Oh, that is a great move there down the inside from Charles Leclerc. Beautiful. Great respect, though, from both drivers. Like I said, I thought Max would have closed the door a little bit more there. So, just seen a replay there of Mercedes holding for 5 seconds before doing that. Russell, they're changing the front wing as well. Is that because there was a bit of damage from the Perez incident with that front wing? I'm not sure, but yeah, they've served 5 seconds, plus they've had the front wing changed. So Russell is now... Where is he? Hasn't updated on there. He is 19th. Okay, Leclerc's had a second warning for track limits, which isn't great, really. For oh, it's updated on the leaderboard now, which is good. Just seeing where Sainz is. Sainz is about 1.5 seconds. Oh, I think Verstappen's coming in the pit. Right, Verstappen's coming in the pits, so that's unleashed the Sainz. Sainz will have DRS though. Ooh, that wasn't the fastest stop. 3.2. I mean, it was fast. I thought he was a little bit slower than that, to be fair. But yeah, decent stop by Red Bull. Where's this going to put Max Verstappen? Is that Norris? Ricciardo looks like he's pit, so that's Norris. So he's coming out 8th, just ahead of Lance Stroll. So that's a decent pit stop there, putting them there. Obviously, Russell is further down because he had that 5-second penalty, plus he's changed the front wing. So that's why he's down in 19th place. But he's ahead of Norris, and he's ahead of Lewis Hamilton at the minute, is Max Verstappen. I think we're going to see that pit again. It looked a little bit slow, but... Oh, yeah, a little bit on the front left was a little bit slow, but it was still 3.2 seconds, so still pretty decent. As we're seeing Lewis Hamilton, again, closing a little bit on Mick Schumacher now. So, annoyingly, I think his tyres have... Oh, is he going down the inside there? That's a bit... Oh, and he's made that manoeuvre. Wow, I haven't seen a manoeuvre there in a long time. That is a great overtake there from Lewis Hamilton. Very respectful between Schumacher and Hamilton, but yeah, great manoeuvre. You could see the Mercedes, whether it's took, again, we know it takes them a while to warm up them tyres for Mercedes. We see that in qualifying. It takes them 2 or 3 laps to put a decent time in, and he's now getting a good performance out of their medium tyres and closed that gap on Mick Schumacher, but yeah, great manoeuvre there. I'd love to see that again. Oh, slow from McLaren with a pit stop there, 3.7. As Lewis Hamilton is looking at making a manoeuvre here on Kevin Magnussen. So he's took one Haas. Is he going to take the other one on the same lap? I think he might here. Hamilton's got DRS. late braking on Magnussen. Again, good manoeuvre between the two of them. And Lewis Hamilton is now up to fourth place, sorry. So yeah, great job there. The tyres are clearly working now for them. Everybody's having warnings for track limits. I can't keep up. We know Leclerc's had 2 warnings for track limits, so he's on his last warning. Carlos Sainz has had his 2nd warning for track limits, and Max Verstappen's just had his 1st warning for track limits. It looks like Magnussen now, after that, is going into the pits. Verstappen is now closing on Mick Schumacher, so he looks like he's going to overtake him on this lap now. He has, of course, just pitted for faster tyres, but Mick Schumacher's got DRS as well. Well, I'm loving seeing Mick Schumacher fighting up the front now. He's a lot more confident. We saw him angry after the sprint race yesterday. He just looks now, he's had them first points, and Haas is looking quite fast, but yeah, Max again had DRS. It looks like he's made that manoeuvre and has done so. So he's just taken Mick Schumacher there. So his next opponent is Lewis Hamilton. So I'll just go through the running order then, as I don't think it's going to change quickly while I go through. But so lap 16 of 71, we've got Charles Leclerc winning the race. He has the fastest lap at the moment as well. His teammate is about 3 seconds behind, so Sainz in 2nd. We've got Ocon at the minute in 3rd after a few pit stops have taken place. Hamilton 4th. We've got Verstappen 5th. He's pitted. Mick Schumacher 6th. Stroll 7th. Tsunoda 8th. Zhou 9th. Alonso 10th. Vettel 11th, but of course these are on hard tyres, so they haven't pitted yet. Magnussen has pitted, he's on the hards now. Norris and Ricciardo 13th, 14th, they've pitted for hards. Albon 15th, 16th for Gasly, 17th for Bottas. Russell is 18th, Latifi 19th, and Perez is still at the back in last place, so 20th. Mick Schumacher and Ocon are now in the pits as I say that, so they are going to be dropping down the order a bit. So annoyingly, that's just ruined my whole going through the running order, because Ocon and Schumacher are probably going to be 10th and 11th. Are they going to go ahead of Magnussen? Should do, yes. So Ocon's in 10th. Oh no, Mick Schumacher didn't beat Magnussen. He's behind the 2 McLarens. That's not great for Mick Schumacher. Perez is being lapped. And this is interesting. We're seeing Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen here. I think Lewis may be a bit of a sitting duck as we get DRS here, but Lewis is still happy with the tyres, so I think he's going to go a little bit longer on the medium. But this is very close between the two of them, but I'm pretty sure that with DRS, Verstappen is going to take the move pretty easily. Oh, he's defending that move though. Verstappen should have him here. Lewis doesn't have DRS, Max does. So we're going into turn 3 here. He's making the move to the left-hand side. Lewis has got the inside. Max is hopefully going to do the switchback here. He looks like he's got a faster exit. He will have DRS as well, which will give him hopefully about 80 mile an hour more, or 50 mile an hour more, and he has made that mover. Lewis did as much as he could there, but yeah, Max Verstappen comfortably through with DRS there. So he's now back up to 3rd. Lewis Hamilton still in 4th, but he's pretty happy with the tyres, so I think he's going to go for a longer stint on that medium tyre. But of course, let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win this Austrian Grand Prix. At the minute, it is Charles Leclerc. The gap between Leclerc and Verstappen at the minute, being Verstappen has pitted, is about 16.5 seconds. So Max Verstappen is definitely still in contention here for this race. But of course, Leclerc and Sainz are going to go longer with this stint. So Max may have to do a 2-stop in this race. But yeah, like I said, let me know. Vote in the comment section who you think is going to win this race. It's still pretty much open at the moment, as we're seeing a replay between Verstappen and Hamilton. But in the end, pretty comfortable for Max Verstappen. Manages to use that DRS effectively. Is on the harder compound tyre, but Lewis has been on the mediums since the very beginning. But he still looks like he's going to go a lot longer in this race. Only person that's been lapped so far is Sergio Perez. The map icon's disappeared again as well. A little bit annoying. I don't know why it keeps doing that. We had issues last time, didn't we? I think that was the Zoom. So there always seems to be something at the minute. Seeing a little battle here between Zhou Guanyu and Fernando Alonso. Both of them starting on the hard compound tyre. Both of them have made their way up due to the pit stops. But yeah, that's a great battle. The rookie driver versus the two-time world champion Fernando Alonso. I almost said four-time then, but he probably should be. Four-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Max Verstappen putting in the fastest lap now. Just seeing that gap between Leclerc and Verstappen has jumped up to 19 seconds, but I think that might have been due to the battling with Hamilton. We might see that go back down a bit, but just keeping an eye on this Alonso battle. Is he going to make a move on Zhou? The problem is Zhou's got DRS from Yuki Tsunoda, so it's not the best for Fernando Alonso to try and make a move because everybody's got DRS. This is the only problem with this, that everybody obviously it's close racing. Oh, he looks closer though. Actually, I say that Fernando Alonso may make a move here. He's going to try and go around the outside, but great defending from Zhou there. Didn't really give him much to do, but yeah, a lot of DRS strains at the minute. It's the only problem with this circuit, and the fact that you utilise DRS, but. As I say, Mick Schumacher overtake. Is that Daniel Ricciardo? Yes, it is. Pretty easy. DRS. Esteban Ocon has done the same type of move to Sebastian Vettel. Looks like Schumacher's overtaken Vettel as well now. So. Or is Vettel in the pits? Vettel's in the pits, that's why. So Vettel's in the pits, that's why he's had a couple of overtakes. Sainz team radio. Plan E? Okay, well, plan A, B, C and D didn't really work there, so they've gone to plan E already. How many plans do you need? But yeah, Sainz is being told that they're on plan E, whatever that is, so we'll see what happens with them. Well, that's interesting. Alonso let Ocon through there. I think it's because Ocon was on the mediums and he's pitted for the hards, whereas Alonso's been on the hards for the whole time, so maybe they feel like Ocon's a bit faster at the minute. Alonso can maybe just keep on the back of Ocon to see if he makes a move on Zhou. But it's a little bit quiet at the minute, so as I say, let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win this race, where you're watching this stream from, and of course, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've just gone over 10,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing, and like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do. We try and do as many of the Formula 1 streams as we can, as Ocon is making that move on Zhou Guanyu. Zhou, very good defending there, but looks like Ocon's doing the switchback, so Ocon should get the move done. They've both got DRS. This is going to be interesting. Who's last of the late breaker? I would say Ocon with the inside line here, and it is Esteban Ocon. So Ocon, that was a good move from Alpine to... Although Zhou trying to make that move stick, but yeah, Ocon, good defending there, so he's kept that position. Good decision from Alpine to swap the two drivers. Hopefully Alonso can now make the move. But yeah, Verstappen team radio. Right, okay, so they're thinking Ferrari are going one stop, Red Bull are going to have to go two stops, so they're about a second. I think Verstappen's about a second quicker at the minute, so the gap between him and Leclerc is about 12 seconds, I think, at the minute, so he has made a lot of progress, but of course, if they're on plan E, they might be going on a one stop, so yeah, that means Verstappen will have to overtake him and then overtake again. Ocon is now overtook Yuki Tsunoda, so he's up to 6th place now as well, but there's a lot of DRS drain at the minute from all these cars, so, and again, the map just decides it doesn't want to keep going, so don't know what's going on today. Alonso trying to get that mover done on Zhou again, but no, good defending from Zhou. Although Alonso is a little bit closer here. No DRS here. This is just... Oh, Zhou's got a bit wide. That looked a bit tricky, and the problem is that Fernando's lost a bit of pace here, and this could be Magnussen trying to chase him as well now. Oh no, free wide. Oh, Zhou lost out there. Although he's took Alonso again. This is a bit mad because now we've got Norris and Schumacher behind as well. There's like 5 cars. Oh my goodness me, what is happening here? I can't really tell you what's happening right now. I have absolutely no idea. There's 5 cars fighting for one position here. I think Norris, who started 4 cars back. Oh no, Magnussen's making a late dive. Oh, Magnussen has made that position on Lando Norris. Wow, wow, wow. Zhou Guanyu has lost a load of places from there. So it's now Magnussen, Norris, Alonso, Schumacher, Zhou, and Zhou was at the top of this pile a minute ago, or less than half a lap ago, and I think Zhou is coming into the pits after that. He is. You would after losing 4 places on 1 lap. So okay, well, we don't want to keep doing that. Oh, Hamilton's being told he's had a lap deleted, and he's saying, I don't know how, I haven't gone off the track, but does it really matter if you get a lap deleted in the race? Who really cares? It's not qualifying. Oh, very close there between Mick Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. I'm loving the fact that these Hasses are up the field here. Mick Schumacher, oh, he's trying to go down the inside. I think he's there. Alonso's been very, very lenient there. I've never seen a Fernando Alonso do a defender like that. I think Fernando, because he's on a 1-stop, he's... Oh, Verstappen's had a second warning as well. But yeah, that was very lenient from Fernando Alonso there. I think he's because he's on a different strategy. There's no point fighting with the tyres he's got. But yeah, great manoeuvre from Mick Schumacher to go down the inside there before turn 4. You know, if you get a good exit off turn 3, it's a lot better to make that move into turn 4. Do a little bit of a late break. We've got Perez coming into the pits as well now. That's a retirement from Perez, I think. Because there's not working on the car. Yeah, too much damage, they're saying, from Perez, so it's pointless wasting the engine. Leclerc's coming into the pits, though. Let's see how good this stop is from Ferrari. Again, the map thing keeps freezing. Yeah, okay, well, it was an alright stop. 2.6 seconds, better than what Red Bull did. Max Verstappen is ahead of Leclerc, but we know Verstappen is probably going to have to pit again. Oh, he could be doing a free stop, to be fair, because it's quite a long lap count. He's coming out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Gap between Leclerc and Hamilton is about 1.2 seconds. I don't know what's going on with this lap thing today. It just keeps freezing. So yeah, Perez is out of this race now, unfortunately for him. Sainz looks like he's coming in this lap as well, so both Ferraris pitting between a lap of each other. But yeah, first retirement of the day is Sergio Perez after that incident with George Russell on the first lap. Russell did have a 5-second penalty from it, so he's in 12th position now. But yeah, doesn't really help Perez because he's now out of the race. But better to save the engine and save all the components for a race where you're actually going to be competitive. He'd already been lapped by his teammates, so to be fair, unless they were going to get a safety car, it was a bit pointless. Let's see how good this pit stop from Ferrari for Sainz is. That looked a little bit better, 2.3 seconds. That was very good for... So Sainz has lost the position to Hamilton. So we know Leclerc was close for Hamilton, but Sainz himself, being a couple of seconds behind Leclerc, is now behind Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton is going a lot longer in this race. He said a few laps ago that his tyres are still good. He still feels good with them. So he's still progressing. This is Mick Schumacher. Has he made a place on Lando Norris here? Certainly has. Norris didn't have DRS. Going into turn 3, pretty comfortable there for Mick Schumacher. Hamilton is coming into the pits now. Hamilton's in the pits. So that's going to help Carlos Sainz. Oh no, it's not the fastest. 4.1 seconds. That's not the fastest for Lewis Hamilton. That's not what he wanted. It's a bit disappointing. He's going to lose a position to Stroll and Ocon. Hopefully he gets out ahead of the Haas. I think he's going to. He's probably just going to be behind Ocon. Yes. Annoyingly, yep, that extra second delay has cost him. Annoyingly, he would have been ahead of Esteban Ocon, but he's got DRS. He will get DRS from Esteban Ocon, so he should be okay, but... that's a bit annoying. George Russell has overtook Daniel Ricciardo. He's up to 10th place now. But a lot of them drivers in the middle of the field now, again, will probably have to stop. Oh, Stroll's going into the pits, so that's helped Ocon and Lewis Hamilton. Ocon didn't have DRS from Stroll. That's a bit weird. I thought he would have done so. Hamilton obviously does from Ocon. Lewis Hamilton should have this move done in the next few corners or so. Definitely on this lap. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. He's got DRS now from Esteban Ocon. Going up to turn 3. Goes to the inside line. I don't think Ocon's really fought that, to be honest. Ocon does get DRS back again going down to turn 4, but I don't think he'll be close enough there to make that manoeuvre. Was it the front left again? Well, not the best camera angle. I think it might be in the rear of the car, actually. Again, George Russell doing the same sort of thing there, going to the inside line on turn 3 for Daniel Ricciardo. Gets that manoeuvre done, so... it's either turn 3 or turn 4, really, that most of the overtakes are done. I know we saw a great one between Hamilton and Schumacher in a less convenient place, really, or less popular place for an overtake manoeuvre. Let's go back to the leaders then. 31 laps into this race. Verstappen is about 2.1 seconds ahead of Leclerc now. But of course we know Leclerc is on tyres that are less old than Max Verstappen. The race tracker keeps freezing, which is really annoying, so apologies for that. I'm trying to keep an eye on it, so if it does, I'm keeping up to date with it. But yeah, a little bit annoying that. Normally I can leave it and it just goes along for the race, but yeah, a bit annoying. Leclerc's about 1.4 seconds now, so he's closed that gap pretty well. He should be in DRS in the next couple of corners or so, I would expect, the pace he's doing here. This would be quite funny if Max doesn't win at a very Dutch-filled event. Don't want to spoil the party or anything, but also kind of do, because Max Verstappen has had a few decent races recently. I know, obviously, a bit disappointing at the British Grand Prix, but before that, Red Bull were making some good progress. So we kind of need Ferrari to pick up the pace again to have a decent battle going into the rest of the season. So to be fair, we kind of need a Ferrari 1-2. As much as I'm not a huge Ferrari fan, we kind of do need that for the championship, really. So it says 303,000 people over the weekend for the Austrian Grand Prix, which is yeah, fantastic to see that the attendance records are so big. The British Grand Prix was a huge crowd last week as well, so great that we're getting loads of fans back into the events. I know, like I said, there's been a few instances this weekend which is very disappointing to see, but it's still great that people are turning up to the events now, and Formula One's becoming more popular. So Gasly's had a 5-second penalty for track limits. He's the first driver that I know that's had a track limit 5-second penalty so far. We know a few have got second warnings. So Leclerc's going down the inside into turn 3 with DRS, and made that pretty comfortable. That was pretty comfortable. I was talking about something else when that happened, to be fair. That was a very easy overtake from Leclerc. Whether we know Verstappen is going onto a new set of tyres later, whether Leclerc is going to go on a new set, not sure. But, yeah. Black and white flag for Norris. One more and he's going to get a 5-second penalty. Oh, Verstappen's not happy with his car. Says one lap he gets grip. The other lap he's not really sure he's got the grip. So yeah, a little bit. He's a little bit agitated in this race. But that was a very comfortable move from Charles Leclerc there, going down the inside again of turn 3, and Max didn't really fight that position. He just sort of let that happen. So it was this Mick Schumacher overtaking his teammate Magnussen. Magnussen went a little bit wide there as we're going into the final sector, and Mick Schumacher did make that move. Whether the Magnussen slowed down a little bit to swap the drivers only, but if he keeps his doesn't have any retirements here, Mick Schumacher could have 2 weeks in a row in the points. But I don't want to blight him right now, but on board with Lando Norris on that great driver cam. He's currently in 8th position at the moment, a couple of seconds behind Kevin Magnussen. Oh, there's another track limits involving Norris is noted. He could be 5-second penalty. Yeah, Norris has had a 5-second penalty for track limits. All of them are struggling with track limits at the minute. It's not great for Norris because 5 seconds at the moment puts him behind his teammate Ricciardo, possibly Albon as well in 11th. So yeah, when Norris next pits, I expect they'll probably hold him for 5 seconds because I still expect he'll probably need to pit again. But oh, was this Fernando Alonso on Pierre Gasly or Yuki Tsunoda? It's Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, wow. Yuki Tsunoda sort of pushed Alonso onto the grass a little bit there, and as Alonso goes past, he sort of wags his hand while he's going at like 180 miles an hour past Yuki Tsunoda. That's brilliant. That is classic Fernando Alonso. Going so fast, ready to do some braking into turn 4, but has enough time to wag his finger at Yuki Tsunoda for pushing him onto the grass there. That's brilliant. That's why we love Fernando Alonso there. That was amazing. But he's now up to 16th place, but seems a bit weird that he's so far down. I think he's made another pit, to be fair. Yeah, Carlos Sainz catching Max here as well. He's just over a second, so he hasn't got DRS yet, but Oh, so Alonso's down in 16th place. They've got Otmar on the pit wall on Sky Sports at the moment. Black and white flag for Sainz. Sainz doesn't want a 5-second penalty in a minute. Is this Max Verstappen going in the pits again? It is Max Verstappen going in the pits again. That's really strange. He's only just been in, really. He's coming on to another set of hard compound tyres. We knew he obviously had to pit again, but he's back on them again. 2.4 seconds. Better stop there for Red Bull this time around. Oh, black and white flag for Joe. Track limits. I think all the drivers are going to get at least a black and white flag at this rate. But Sainz doesn't want that. He's on a black and white flag. One more and he gets a 5-second penalty. He doesn't need that at the minute. He's ahead of Verstappen now, of course. But he needs to keep up with his teammate. 5-second penalty is not going to help him there. So we're on board with George Russell. George Russell's in 9th. Norris ahead of him. Of course, he has a 5-second penalty. So it doesn't really need to fight too much with Norris in front, to be fair. But Norris will have DRS ahead for Magnussen, so it'd be quite difficult, I think, for Russell to overtake. But he doesn't have DRS. That's interesting. He's too far away from Magnussen. I thought he was closer than that. Once we get to lap 40, I'll go through another running order, depending on if drivers are coming into the pits or not. But yeah, keep you up to date on that. Of course, the leaderboard should still be updating as we go along. I think it's a couple of laps down, annoyingly. But I'll go through the running order anyway. We're on lap 38 at the moment. Vettel looks like he's made a move on Bottas. Vettel's on the medium set of tyres, so his latest set of tyres has gone on fresher set than... It's only Vettel and Tsunoda that are on mediums at the minute. That's interesting. Max being told he's free to push now, but they want him to match times to Hamilton, and Verstappen's like, why? So that's weird that they're trying to match times to Hamilton and not the two Ferraris. But yeah, maybe they feel they're not fast enough than the Ferraris this weekend now in terms of their race pace. Ferrari look a lot quicker at the moment. But Verstappen looked really good yesterday in the sprint race. So yeah, bit weird. I think obviously the fact that both Ferraris were fighting each other in the sprint didn't really help matters. So maybe if they hadn't and they'd worked together, then we might have seen what we're seeing today. But clouds are a bit black around there, which said there was only a 10% chance of rain, but yeah, it does look a bit cloudy, and it looks like they're definitely rain clouds, so that could mix the grid up a little bit. But we haven't had a safety car yet. We haven't had a virtual safety car yet. Everything's been quite smooth at the minute. We only have Sergio Perez out of the race at the moment, but who's got... Zhou Guan Yu's the one that's got the next 5-second penalty. These pit stops are going to be really long at the minute the next time they come in, because all of them are having to wait probably 5 seconds to be able to actually do the pit stop, with them all getting these track limit infringements. So okay, Sainz is quite happy on this tyre. Oh, that's Vettel off again. Oh dear, Seb. Seb. Why are we off on the grass again? That's not good. Just as the leaders are coming through as well. Seb, you were doing so well. You were in 13th. You were close to the points. What's happened there? That's not what Aston Martin wanted, to be fair. Stroll's in 14th. Vettel was 13th. What's happened there? Who's he battled with? Oh, same sort of thing with Perez and Russell. Yeah, Russell got a 5-second penalty for the same thing, so I would expect Gasly to do the same. I would say in terms of that one, Vettel was so much further ahead than what Perez was to Russell. So Gasly maybe should have given up that position a little bit there compared to what happened on the first lap, but that's definitely a 5-second penalty for Gasly if Russell got that on the first lap. So I would expect that to be pretty imminent for Gasly, but yeah, that's effectively ruined Vettel's race, sadly for him. Norris is closing on Kevin Magnussen at the minute. He should have DRS. Is George Russell in the pits? What's George putting on? He's putting on another set of hard compound tyres. It was a bit better than the first stop. 2.7 seconds, a lot better than the first stop. I think that was 4 seconds the last time around. Where's he going to come out? Norris going down the inside line on turn 3 on Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen will probably have a better line on the way out and he will get the DRS. Oh no, Norris has got it. But Kevin Magnussen... Ooh, Norris should have the more speed there with the benefit of DRS, but Magnussen is still trying to fight for that position. Gasly's just been in the pits and he's had an 8-second pit stop. I don't know if that was because he had 5 seconds, but it hasn't come up on the screen. Yeah, not sure. Okay, so Gasly did have it, so he's probably told us he came in the pits. So he did have a 5-second penalty. Oh, this map thing keeps freezing. Come on. Oh, we've gone past 40 laps here and I haven't gone through the run-through, so apologies. A lot of bits been happening. Of course, Vettel had that instance. So, lap 42 of 71, we've got Charles Leclerc in the lead at the moment. Gap to his teammate is about 4 seconds. Max Verstappen, again, 16 and a bit seconds behind Leclerc as well. He's in 3rd place. Not the best stop for Magnussen. We've got Lewis Hamilton in 4th. We've got Ocon 5th. Mick Schumacher is 6th. Norris and Ricciardo 7th and 8th. Fernando Alonso is 9th. Stroll 10th. Zhou 11th. Although he looks like he's going to be overtaken by George Russell. Has just done so. So Russell's up to 11th. Zhou 12th. Magnussen is 13th. He's just pitted. Tsunoda 14th. Vettel is 15th. Although Leclerc is getting stuck in blue flags here. Vettel 15th, Albon 16th, Bottas 17th. He's really struggling in this race as well to make any progress. Gasly 18th after that 5-second penalty for that contact with Vettel. And Latifi driving his own race in 19th. The only driver we've lost is Sergio Perez after that incident with George Russell on the first lap. Tried to go a little bit longer, but the damage was too much and basically saving the components for the next Grand Prix. So, a bit disappointing for Perez, but yeah, he's the only retirement so far in this race. Just seeing Vettel. Is this instant with Gasly? Yeah. I just feel like that one, it was a bit more of a slam dunk for Gasly. With Vettel there. I just feel like Vettel was further in front than what Perez was on the first lap between him and Russell, but yeah. Oh, it's alright, Martin Brundle's agreeing with me. He said slam dunk as well, about 10 seconds later, so... I feel like I know that was the right thing. Leclerc's trying to get through the back markers at the minute, which isn't great. I think Sainz is losing some time to his teammate as well during these blue flags. He's now dropped by 5 seconds to his teammate, so he's not being helped by that. Norris is coming into the pits. There's a lot of pit stops today in this race, trying to keep an eye on what is actually going on. That was slow. Was there 8 seconds? Oh, he had a 5-second pit stop. He had a 5-second pit stop. I can't keep up with these 5 seconds now. I knew I wouldn't be able to do it. So Norris with that 5 seconds. Oh, we're seeing Russell having a bit of a squabble here with Mick Schumacher. Oh, and then he's got Stroll ahead of him. Can't make the move on Stroll. Stroll's really slow out of that exit on turn 3. So he should get the move done here. He's got DRS. Stroll won't. He's overtook Mick Schumacher, and he looks like he's about to do Lance Stroll here, going down to turn 4. Stroll trying to late brake, does so. That might compromise him going around into turn 5 and 6. Oh, I tell you what, that Aston Martin's got some pace there. Fair dues to Lance Stroll. Oh, he's looked a bit wobbly. Yeah, Russell going down the inside there. We saw Hamilton make the same sort of manoeuvre on Mick Schumacher a little bit earlier on, and Russell's just done the same thing on Lance Stroll. So Russell up to 8th. And he might make up a few more places at the minute because Ocon and Ricciardo ahead is also coming in for pits. Oh, Mick Schumacher also making a move here. Mick Schumacher does make the move on Lance Stroll. So Mick Schumacher is up to 8th. Stroll back to 9th. Ooh, Stroll again trying to make the move back. Does so, but that's going to compromise him into turn 3. He won't have the DRS, I don't think, on Mick Schumacher. Let's have a look. Mick Schumacher looks like he's closing. Can't see who's got the DRS. Oh, both of them have got DRS. Oh, Lance Stroll. Great racing here from Lance Stroll. They've been struggling, Aston Martin, in the qualifyings. Just going out in Q1 of the last few races. Ooh, very close between him and Mick Schumacher there, but Stroll's still ahead in 8th place at the moment. Lewis unhappy that he doesn't feel like he's going wide at turn 10, but he's also got a black and white flag now, so one more and Hamilton's going to have a penalty. Let's just have a look. Oh, I think he might have just gone over that white line, to be fair. It is quite difficult. I think the whole track limits thing is a little bit BS, to be honest, let's be fair. Unless you're going to make serious time gains. It's only a minor off, isn't it? Oh my god, there's another few cars fighting each other here. I think Lando Norris making a move on Yuki Tsunoda. He does so. Daniel Ricciardo will be the next one after Yuki Tsunoda as well. To be fair, there's a lot of overtaking going on in this race. It's quite difficult. There's a lot of pit stops happening. There's a lot of overtaking. There's a lot of track limits with 5-second penalties, which is making everybody's pit stops really slow. So it's quite difficult to keep a track of. But the problem is that there's a lot of overtaking going on, but all of them seem to have DRS as well. So, I mean, I suppose that's balancing it out if more of them do have DRS, because it's actually, you know, how good they are under braking, how well they actually overtake each other. Ooh, that was... I'm not sure what the defending on Stroll that was, but that was a bit close between him and Schumacher. Magnussen's caught up this pack as well now. Mick Schumacher looks like with DRS has made that move. Oh, Magnussen going down the inside now. Wow. Both Hasses. I think Stroll might have Magnussen back here, but that was a very late lunge. That was Daniel Ricciardo-esque by Magnussen there, just straight down the inside of turn 3 there. But wow, both Hasses making that move on Lance Stroll there. Great job there. Great job from Kevin Magnussen. I want to see that again. That was literally, he just came out of nowhere down the inside there, but great racing by all of them. Let's have a look at that again. He had DRS on Lance Stroll, but I think... Okay, Stroll didn't. Mick Schumacher made the move on with DRS. Lance Stroll had the lights, so he was saving energy, but Kevin Magnussen saw the gap, went straight down the inside into turn 3 there. Great manoeuvre from Kevin Magnussen. Great to have him back in the sport this year. He's really showing that he's happy with a fast car. You know, I think Grosjean would have been up there as well, so just disappointing that Magnussen and Grosjean had them 2 years of real disappointment at Haas, but with a great car, Magnussen is proving that he's still a very skillful driver, and Mick Schumacher with a bit of confidence as well is really showing that too. So both of them at the minute in the points in 8th and 9th. So we're just coming up to lap 50, so it should be about, we'll have 21 laps left of this race once we hit lap 50. Charles Leclerc's never won a race from pole position, or in this track, I think it said there was a stat. I kind of missed it because I was looking at the lap time, but... Oh, Leclerc's coming in the pits. This is interesting. So Leclerc's coming into the pits. He will be overtaken by Max Verstappen now because the gap was only about 12 seconds. What tyres are they putting on? I cannot see. It's another set of hard compound tyres. He is past. Max Verstappen has gone past Charles Leclerc. So Sainz has taken the lead of this race. The gap between Sainz and Verstappen is 12.5 seconds. Leclerc is 3.5 seconds behind Verstappen now with a fresh set of hard compound tyres. So Leclerc should catch Max Verstappen up pretty confidently again, I think, with the fresher rubber. He's got 21 laps on these hards now, so he should be absolutely fine. Sainz are being told to box as well, so he's going to come in. So Verstappen will take the lead of this race again, but they're on the fresher tyres. I think Max has done 13 laps, so Leclerc's on 13 lap younger tyres. Sainz will be on 14 lap compared to Verstappen, so it should be that Ferrari, at least for Leclerc's point of view, win this race at the minute unless anything drastic happens. Sainz is coming into the pits. Is this going to be a decent pit stop again? Let's just have a look. Comfortable enough. Should be 3 seconds. 2.6 seconds. Better than I thought. Max Verstappen is through, as is Charles Leclerc, who is... that's a AlphaTauri, but he would be unlapping himself, but Carlos Sainz is already ahead of him. He's comfortably ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who's in 4th, so... I just want to know what the gap is. So the gap's 2.5 seconds between Verstappen and Leclerc. Leclerc still has fastest lap. So at the minute, it's all looking pretty rosy for Charles Leclerc and Ferrari at the moment. Latifi's in the pits, but he has been in the pits for a while. So is he retiring? I think he might be retiring from this race. Russell's not very happy. He feels like the car is very slow. He's worried that he still had damage from that incident with Sergio Perez. And that is Nicholas Latifi out of this race. He looked like he was in the pits for a long time, and they have boxed him, so he is out of this race. His teammate Albon is currently in 12th place, so any issues with retirements ahead of him, he's going to be looking okay. Lewis Hamilton's being told to box as well. So Lewis Hamilton's coming into the pits now. This is just a safety precaution, really. That's not the fastest. 3.8 seconds from Lewis Hamilton, but I think he's on the medium tyre. That's interesting. I wonder if that's going to be a bit faster. Gasly failing to serve his time penalty. Was his pit stop not 8 seconds? I'm sure his pit stop was 8 seconds, so unless they just had a really rubbish stop and didn't serve the 5 seconds in that rubbish stop, but I'm sure his time was 8 seconds, so that's a bit weird that they've said Gasly hasn't served it. And while I've been talking about that, Leclerc is in DRS zone of Max Verstappen going around the start-finish straight. We'll have DRS here. He probably won't make the manoeuvre here because he might be compromised a little bit, so I wouldn't. I'd wait till this next one into turn 3, possibly turn 4, but he looks close enough to make a manoeuvre going down to turn 3. He's got a couple of cars back markers ahead of him, which is Bottas and Albon. Oh, there are some blue flags will be coming in a minute, but Leclerc goes the switcheroo, makes that manoeuvre done. Max Verstappen couldn't do much about that. He's going to have DRS again, but Hee hee hee. This is funny. That's Leclerc through. And that's going to ruin the Dutch fans' day. Oh dear. Shouldn't really be saying that, but it is funny. He's moaning about traction there, but oh well. What a shame. Oh, a nice switcheroo into turn 3, and that's what gave the great traction there from the Ferrari, with the bonus of DRS as well. You position that car, you're just in a perfect position, but the DRS didn't... Oh, Max got the DRS. Oh, right, okay, interesting. Black and white flag for Mick Schumacher, track limits, so he's going to have one more, and then he's going to have a 5-second penalty. Not what Mick Schumacher wants, because 5 seconds would put him out of the points. Carlos Sainz is about 3.7 seconds behind Verstappen as well. That's dropped to 3.4. He's pushing now as well to try and get a Ferrari 1-2. George Russell on Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso is going on a really long stint on this hard compound tyre, but Alonso again doesn't look like he's fighting much for that. He's gone to 6th position, has George Russell. Alonso not really fighting. I can't remember how long Alonso's had them tyres on for now, but so Russell's gone up to 6. Lewis Hamilton's in 4th at the minute. So after then 2 collisions in qualifying, or then 2 incidents in qualifying where both drivers went off the track, they're not doing too bad in the race now. Decent amount of points for Mercedes at the moment. We're on lap 55 of 71. We're just having a look now. Carlos Sainz getting past Albon and Bottas, the few back markers ahead. And the gap between him and Verstappen now is 1.8 seconds. So gap 1.3. Carlos Sainz gets the fastest lap. So he's really closing down. This could be a Ferrari 1-2 at the Red Bull Ring. This is not going to please Christian Horner, which puts the smile even more on my face, if that is the case. I apologise if you're watching this and you are a Red Bull fan. I don't mind the team, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's always funny to see somebody that's being cheered all weekend not end up winning the race. So yeah, a Ferrari 1-2. I said Ferrari needed this 1-2 this weekend, with the fact that Red Bull have looked a little bit more consistent since the start of the season. You know, they had their reliability issues, but Red Bull looked like they've progressed more than Ferrari over the last couple of races. So Ferrari really need this for the championship, and to get a 1-2 at the Red Bull Ring, that is just a pie in the face for Red Bull and for Christian Horner as well. So just, I think, what Ferrari want at this time. Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, should I say, is within a second of Max Verstappen now as well. 2 ex-Toro Rosso teammates. We know they didn't really get on at Toro Rosso, which saw Carlos Sainz leave the team. He is now within striking distance of Max Verstappen. Let's see what happens here. They're going down to turn 3. He's got DRS as Carlos Sainz. He doesn't look close enough for the turn 3, but if he gets it... Ooh, great. Late braking there from Sainz. But if he gets better traction than Verstappen, he could get a move down to turn 4. I think it might be another lap. Oh, he's going slow. He's going slow. Oh, no. The engine's gone for Carlos Sainz. I was just talking about them. I was just talking about him. Oh god, the back of it's on fire. The back of it's on fire. That's a safety car. It's rolling down the hill. Oh my god. It's going to roll back down the hill. Oh god. That is a lot of fire in that car. Oh, that's a lot of fire there. Carlos Sainz was lucky to get out of that car. Oh, so gutting for Carlos Sainz. I was just talking about a Ferrari 1-2. And Sainz was looking about overtaking Max Verstappen there. That would have been perfect for Carlos Sainz after a great weekend winning the British Grand Prix. But the car. He says he's okay with the marshals, so that's good. There was a lot of fire there. He was very close there with his race suit, so... that's so gutting, man. I was just talking about a Ferrari 1-2. Nah. So it is a virtual safety car at the moment. Leclerc's coming into the pits. And Max Verstappen's coming in, so they're all going to put mediums on, I presume, under the virtual safety car. Hamilton, though, because he's on the mediums, Hamilton is going to be leading this race at the moment. We might not actually. Where is Hamilton? Oh no, Hamilton. No. Leclerc and Verstappen are ahead of Hamilton. I thought Hamilton might overtake the two of them, but it's a virtual safety car, isn't it? Not a safety car, so... we see Carlos Sainz there sitting on the hill, absolutely gutting for him. What can you say? That's just gutting there for Sainz. So I'll just end this stream here. So we'll just end the poll. So 46% did say Max Verstappen would win this race. 38% said Charles Leclerc. Only 3% said Carlos Sainz. Them 3% obviously knew he wasn't going to finish this race. Or everybody else thought he wasn't going to finish this race, sorry. 11% said somebody else. This looks like he's going slow, but I think he's just following the safety car. The virtual safety car. I think the car's gone now, so I'll put driver of the day poll out as well. So let me know who you think deserves driver of the day. I think it's probably going to be Charles Leclerc, considering he's doing a very good job for Ferrari right now. But let's just see who else we could put down. I mean, Esteban Ocon, I mean, look at the fire coming out of the back of that Ferrari there. Ooh, the fire looks like it's going over Carlos Sainz there. I mean, if he's going to catch fire, it catches fire, and that was one hell of a... So we're back underway. We are back underway now. Lap 60 of 71. Let me... I mean, we'll put Esteban Ocon. Well, I think Fernando Alonso, to be fair. Because Fernando Alonso at the minute is in 5th place. Or, I mean, we could put Lewis Hamilton. I'm going to put these 4 drivers down for driver of the day, but if it's anybody else, please let me know in the comment section below. I've just seen a couple of comments because the driver of the day thing has been blocking the screen, but oh no, Leclerc's not happy with the car either. Oh no, I've just been laughing about Red Bull, but I feel like Ferrari are imploding in themselves a little bit now, but I mean, Dan's put all aboard the Latifi train. I mean, unluckily, Latifi is out, so the train has stopped, and he's no longer in the race. So we have lost three drivers now in this race: Sergio Perez, Nicholas Latifi, and Carlos Sainz. However, Carlos Sainz did have the fastest lap, so anybody here with these fresh set of mediums could take the fastest lap off him. So that could be interesting to figure out with these last 10 laps. Wow, that is an absolute state. The back of that Ferrari, now they've put the fire out, there's nothing left of the engine cover at the back. That's... wow. George Russell has overtook Esteban Ocon there, so he's up to 4th as well now. So Mercedes 3rd and 4th. I mean, to be fair, I've put Fernando Alonso, but he's now dropped to 14th. So that could have been a waste of a driver of the day. I thought he was putting in a mega performance there, but they've put a new set of medium tyres on him and they've dropped him out of the points. I mean, with 10 laps to go, I think he would have been worth just keeping the hards on for Alonso, but I don't know what... oh, they had to change the set, didn't they? Of course they did. They put two hard compounds on, and they had to at least change it to a medium, so they've kind of shot themselves in the foot there of Alpine, so very weird. Oh, Verstappen does have the fastest lap now, so he took it off Sainz. Again, he set another fastest lap of the race. He's catching Leclerc now on these set of mediums. We're back on board with Norris. He's very close to Kevin Magnussen. And he has made the move, so Norris is up to 7th place, overtaking Kevin Magnussen there. Alonso's overtook Gasly, so he's now up to 12th. Bottas is 11th. I think there was a thing there saying, what happened to Perez? I'm not sure how long ago that comment was, apologies. The who do you think is going to win was blocking the comments on the screen for me, but I might have mentioned it since the comment, but yeah, basically Perez had contact with George Russell on the first lap and got a lot of damage to the side pod of the car. They tried to keep him going, but I think about 10 laps later they decided to bring him in to save all the components for the car. So yeah, he retired for the race around about lap 20. Got Bottas and Albon here. Bottas within a second of Alex Albon. Alex Albon currently is the final driver in the points, so Bottas will be wanting to take that 1 point off of him. McLaren at the moment have both drivers in the points. Haas at the moment have both drivers in the points. We've got an Alpine, 2 Mercedes, 1 Red Bull and 1 Ferrari who are currently in the points at the moment. Leclerc's really not happy with the throttle pedal here. He keeps saying that on the team radio. Oh God, Ferrari, don't implode. Your strategy's been pretty decent today. It's normally either the strategy or the reliability of the car, and at the minute the strategy's been good and the reliability's kicking in. Yeah, and Verstappen's being told that Leclerc's having issues with throttle, so that's going to put him a little bit more motivated. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on to see if the times do start coming down a little bit. It's still 3.5 seconds at the minute. Bottas is coming up to turn 3 now. He's gone to the outside of turn 3. Albon's took the inside line. Bottas should get a better run here. Oh, he had to squirm there. He's got DRS. Is Albon going to go a little bit late down to turn 4 to try and make that move again? He doesn't. He goes a little bit more inside than Bottas to see if he can squeeze him, but Valtteri Bottas is in the final points position now, and luckily for Albon and Williams, but yeah, they are 11th now, just outside of the points. Oh, oh my God. The throttle pedal is kind of stuck. The engineers are telling Leclerc that the throttle pedal can get a little bit stuck during the lap, so they said try and unstick it while you're driving around. I mean, for God's sake. Oh, he's got a little bit wide, I think. Oh, it looked like he went a little bit wide. The camera cut to him then, and he looked like he was a little bit wide off track. The gap's gone to about 3.4, so it's not a major difference at the minute between him and Verstappen, but I mean, Leclerc can't do with a safety car right now. He has to keep this gap, because if he goes to a safety car, I really think that Max might have him here because he's struggling with that throttle pedal. But Carlos Sainz back in the garage. All the team are coming around him. Lance Stroll, he's made a move. Is that Pierre Gasly? It is Pierre Gasly. Five laps to go. Leclerc team radio again. So the gap's gone to 3 seconds. He's still not happy with this throttle pedal. He's going to get DRS off Norris, which is quite helpful, but it's about 2.9 seconds now. He's got 5 laps to go. The Dutch fans might have a better weekend than I was hoping for. I thought Ferrari won too, but at this rate, Verstappen is going to be very close to Leclerc. No, don't ruin my weekend. I know the weather's nice, and I might get a tan in the last hour this afternoon, but we don't want Max Verstappen winning at the Red Bull Ring. That's got Christian Horner's smugness all over it. Come on, Binotto. I'm not a big fan of Ferrari, but I was hoping for a Ferrari 1-2. This is just turning into a bit of a nightmare right now. Not that I'm biased or anything. Welcome to Let's Talk Sport. Our passion does come through. 2.7 seconds the gap now. Verstappen might have DRS as well from Norris. Is that Norris or Ricciardo? I can't see. It's Norris. Let me know in terms of drive of the day as well, and I will end the vote in a couple of laps time, or just as the race finishes. Alonso's overtook Albon as well now. He's about 2 seconds off Bottas, so he's on the medium tyre. So Alonso's still chasing that final point as well. There's a few drivers on the medium: Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, Stroll, Zhou, and Vettel. Okay, Alonso's under investigation. Release in unsafe condition pit lane. I think the stewards are just enjoying their day of reviewing everything at the minute. As we see Christian Horner. Gap's 2.7 seconds at the minute. Leclerc team radio again. The downshifts aren't clicking in either, and they're saying that's again due to the throttle being, the throttle pedal sticking, so it's struggling when it's trying to get a gear. So this is a very difficult last 5 to 7 laps for Ferrari and Leclerc. We've lost Carlos Sainz, and now Leclerc having issues as well. It's still 2.9 seconds, so Verstappen's not really making that much progress. I don't know if there's traffic around. He's overtook Norris, and Mick Schumacher's ahead of him, so the fact that there is traffic, it may be helping him a little bit. He's saying turn 3 is really difficult at the minute. He's got 2 laps to go. Gap's still 3 seconds, so at this rate, Leclerc looks like he should be okay. I think Mick Schumacher is still in front of Verstappen. Let me just take a look on the driver tracker. I think Verstappen's just taken him into turn 3. Gap's 2.6 seconds. This is going to be really close. Verstappen's out of traffic. Verstappen has the fastest lap. I can't take this. I can't take this. Please no. If he overtakes on the last lap like he did to Leclerc a few years ago, was that 2018 or 2019? I think it was 2019. Oh man, they're gonna go absolutely crazy, aren't they? Come on, Leclerc. We need this for the championship. You need to win this race. I don't care that Verstappen has the fastest lap. 2.4 seconds. He's got a lap to go. 2.4 seconds. He should be okay. Unless there's a really bad incident in this. He runs wide or something. He should be okay here. Should Charles Leclerc. But 2.2 seconds. No. This can't happen. Come on, Leclerc. 2.1 seconds. I think we're going to be okay. Please don't lock up. Please don't lock up. No engine failure. Come on, not on this last lap. We just want a comfortable lap. 2 seconds, the gap. 1.9. Alonso's just taken that final point on Bottas. We're not seeing it though because Leclerc and Verstappen still 1.9 seconds. He's got the final couple of corners to go. Don't get track limits with a 5-second penalty now. No, everything looks okay. And everything looks okay there. Charles Leclerc is going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. Come on, Charles. Max Verstappen second. That's what we need. That's what we need for the championship. Thank goodness for that. Unlucky for Carlos Sainz. Lewis Hamilton's going to come home third. He's still on the track. Yeah, he's just coming around the second sector at the minute. Is Lewis Hamilton, but he's going to get another podium. Yeah, they're mentioning it on commentary there. I mean, the fact that Mercedes is still having issues and they're so far away, but they're third and fourth again. I mean, not a great season, but they're still racking up the points, to be fair. As he crosses the line in third, George Russell is not far behind him. He's going to take fourth place. Here comes George Russell, firing the final couple of corners. And he finishes in fourth. After that first lap issue and that 5-second penalty and changing the front wing, he comes home in the position he started, fourth place. But he will definitely take that. Thank goodness for that. So we'll just run through now with all the drivers crossing the line in that order. We're just going to run through now. So Charles Leclerc, obviously, as we say, does win that race. Thank goodness for that. Max Verstappen comes home second, about 1.5 the gap in the end. Let me just turn my mic over so I can go through the leaderboard on this screen over here. So yeah, as I say, Charles Leclerc wins the race. Max Verstappen in second. Lewis Hamilton takes third. George Russell fourth. Esteban Ocon finishes in fifth. Just have team radio. Yeah, Max Verstappen saying decent amount of points in the end, but a little bit disappointing. Mick Schumacher sixth. Another back-to-back points finishes for Mick Schumacher. Great job from him in the Haas team. Lando Norris seventh. Kevin Magnussen eighth. Daniel Ricciardo, decent points for him. He finishes ninth. Fernando Alonso takes that final point position, overtaking Bottas in the end. Bottas finishes 11th. That's not a bad recovery considering he started from the pit lane. Alonso started from the back. Alonso's being investigated, as we know, for a pit lane release thing. He'll probably get a penalty, knowing Alonso's luck. Alex Albon finishes 12th. Lance Stroll 13th. Guan Yu Zhou 14th. Vettel finishes 15th. Gasly 16th. And Yuki Tsunoda is 17th. For the three drivers we lost in the race was Sergio Perez on lap 26, should I say. Nicholas Latifi lap 50, and Carlos Sainz with that engine, it basically just caught fire on lap 57. So unlucky for him that he was only about just over 10 laps away from finishing and could have had a 1-2 Ferrari today, but unlucky for him. It says that Vettel has just dropped down to 17th as well, so I don't know what's happened there. But yeah, good haul of points really from Haas and McLaren. Both drivers in the points for them. Esteban Ocon in his 100th Grand Prix. I think I saw stuff about that today. That's not bad for him in 5th place. The two Mercedes, as we have said, have been struggling this year in terms of outright pace, but finishing 3rd and 4th, they'll be very happy with that indeed. And although Max Verstappen will be gutted he's not run this race on the Red Bull Ring and in front of the Dutch fans, I'm sure he'll be happy overall with the points today, and I think he had fastest lap as well. And of course Charles Leclerc, happy indeed with that win. Like I said, let me know who you think driver of the day was today. If you knew it was anybody else, let me know in the comments. I will probably end it in about a minute's time. And it says there Max Verstappen did get the fastest lap. Well, I think they just said the reason why Vettel's finished at the back, but I wasn't listening. I wasn't looking. So they started talking to Max Verstappen first. 68th podium for Max Verstappen. I mean, at the age Max Verstappen is, that is a huge stat in terms of 68 podiums so far in his career. Of course, one World Championship now as well, but yeah, it was pretty respectful between both Verstappen and Leclerc today. I thought it might get a little bit more feisty, but it was, yeah. That was funny. Don't know if anybody knows what the tennis is at the minute, but I haven't been able to see it. Of course, Wimbledon final today. Novak Djokovic versus Nick Kiriosk. Could be a very interesting fight indeed, so I might see what that's like in a minute. But decent race actually overall. I was a little bit concerned coming into this race. The sprint race yesterday was okay, but sometimes this race is very much a DRS based circuit, and of course if there's so many cars, and we did see quite a few cars pretty close together during the race, about 5 or 6, but they were all had DRS, and it did look like it was going to be one of them races. But in the end, there was a decent amount of overtaking. Track limits sort of mixed the field up a little bit, with some drivers having to take 5 seconds in the pit lane. A number of them did two stops. I don't think anybody did a free... Leclerc did a free stop and Verstappen did a free stop when they put their mediums on at the end. Alonso did free stops. And I think that was it. So like I said, we sort of mixed it up with the number of pit stops we had as well. But I want to see what the order is for the championship now, but I say 68 for Max Verstappen, but 186 podiums for Lewis Hamilton. I mean, man, that is huge. I love the fact that Mercedes and Hamilton and Russell, even having a really little, like we say, difficult year. It's not a difficult year, because a difficult year would be them being where Haas and Williams have been over the last few years. It's just a difficult year in terms of what we've expected in terms of Mercedes. But the fact that they are not as quick, but they are still finishing on the podium, they're still finishing very close in terms of the actual order to their rivals. You know, they're still pretty high in the Constructors' Championship this year. I'll just end the drive of the day stat as well. I'm not sure about these driver rooms. They brought the driver rooms back, but as we know, I think they're pre-recorded in the sense that they're about a 5-second to 10-second delay than being like live, because in case any of the drivers swear, they can lower the volume on it. But you know, it's like, well, the drivers are probably going to swear in some instances, but as long as you just put a thing on the screen saying, you know, warning, we may have some explicit language, but I just think it's a bit annoying that we don't hear their actual opinions on things. But it is just Max Verstappen in there at the minute. I'm not sure where Leclerc and Hamilton are. Oh, Hamilton's here. How friendly are they going to be between Verstappen and Hamilton? Have they said hello to each other yet? Oh, they have spoken. Oh, and he's gone again. I don't know how well their relationship is, really. It's a little bit more between Leclerc and Verstappen, but I think it's just an age thing, to be fair. And they haven't had a proper battle like Verstappen and Hamilton have, where the rivalry has truly kicked in. So I think maybe as the years go by, their relationship might be a bit more stretched as what we've seen between Hamilton and Verstappen. But Hamilton literally, essentially, just walked out of the cool down room a little bit there. So Lewis Hamilton on the podium in third place. We are going to have the Monaco national anthem and the Italian national anthem for Leclerc and Ferrari. Christ, Leclerc is so much higher than the others. That is a first place podium. I think they were hoping that Verstappen would be up there. It was like, oh no, we've got to put a Ferrari man up there. So that's a little bit, I think they'll be a little bit annoyed about that. They were like, oh, hang on, we thought Verstappen would have this. Oh, they've also put Carlos Sainz. Oh, that's a wrong graphic. They've put Carlos Sainz racing for Red Bull there. That's not happening. It's quite nice to have a different national anthem. We haven't heard the Monaco one in a few races. I believe, let me just have a look on when the next Grand Prix is. It is the French Grand Prix, and it's in a couple of weekends' time. So we've got a 2-week break now before we go to Paul Ricard. Again, the track's not amazing there, but we do get a few overtakes, I suppose, in the French Grand Prix. So, yeah, hopefully that won't be too bad of a race. And then we've got the Hungarian Grand Prix before the season break in August. So they are back-to-back weekends. So we've got 2 weeks now between now and the French Grand Prix, and then a week after that we have the Hungarian Grand Prix as well. Hopefully the Hungarian Grand Prix can be spiced up a little bit with the weather. I mean, even France, I suppose, could be. But I think Hungary has a bit more mixed conditions. So, yeah, we may get a bit of rain there. We saw last year, I think it was last year, wasn't it, when Lewis Hamilton was the only guy on the grid. When everybody else came in for new tyres, Lewis Hamilton was sitting there in the restart with his intermediates on, the only car to take the lights. So, yeah, hopefully we might have mixed conditions there for the Hungarian one. But, yeah, a couple of weeks' time is the next race for the French Grand Prix. We should be able to cover that one. I'm not sure about the Hungarian one, but yeah, we should be able to be here for the French Grand Prix coverage on the channel. As I say, before we end the stream in a couple of minutes' time, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. We are just over 10,000 subscribers now on Let's Talk Sport, which is fantastic. Of course, we do different types of motorsports as well. The MotoGP is on a bit of a break, but Jamie always tries to cover each race of the MotoGP as well. Of course, we've got different football. We're hoping to do a bit more in terms of like the Euros as well. And of course, as the season kicks off in a few months' time, it's just over about 50 days, I think, before the Premier League starts once again. And of course, the golf. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. And we try and cover as many sports as we possibly can. As we see Charles Leclerc take the first place trophy. It's that nice wood crafted of the track. I do like the more unique ones. I don't the ones that are a bit dull. I think the French one. Do the French ones still have them trophies that are shaped like a animal? I can't remember. I just wanted to see what the live standings are. I don't know if the driver standings have been updated on the F1 app yet. I don't know if they have. That's what I wanted to shout about before we ended the stream, but I'm not sure if they've updated yet, so that's a little bit annoying. But obviously Leclerc closes the gap slightly. I mean, obviously Verstappen taking second place and the fastest lap, means it doesn't really close by that much. Carlos Sainz, I think, will be a little bit annoyed. The gap, obviously, between Perez and Verstappen will have increased now, of course, with the fact that Perez didn't finish the race. So that is the halfway point of the Formula 1 season. Of course, it's a couple of weeks' time before the season break for Formula 1. But yeah, this is the halfway point now for the season. And Max Verstappen is still winning the championship. It's not going to give me the driver or the driver standings. I mean, if it has updated on the screen, I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember what Verstappen started the race on. Probably should have known that. But on the Formula 1 website, Max Verstappen is 189 points in the championship. Sergio Perez is 151 points. And then we've got 145 for Charles Leclerc. So I'll just take that out now because that has finished. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching the stream here today for the Austrian Grand Prix. You have voted Charles Leclerc Driver of the Day with 45% of the votes. Max Verstappen getting 29%, Lewis Hamilton 16%, and Fernando Alonso gets 8%. I'll move the mic back across now before I end the stream. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. As I say, hopefully you'll be quite happy with the sense that Charles Leclerc did take the win of the Austrian Grand Prix. If you're joining us and you are from the Netherlands and you wanted Max Verstappen to win, or you're from Austria and you wanted the Red Bull team to win, obviously I apologise that they didn't happen, and obviously I've been pushing more for Ferrari to win this race, but it's just simply the fact that we want a bit more of a championship battle this season, and Ferrari need to step their game up to be able to do that. So good today that they managed to get the win for Leclerc, but of course disappointing that they couldn't get the 1-2 for Carlos Sainz. I think they'll obviously have to look into the reliability of that. But as I say, we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time when the French Grand Prix takes place, and of course the Hungarian Grand Prix after that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today, and we will see you all in the next live stream. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It does mean a lot to us, and we can get over and head towards 11,000 subscribers. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care. See you soon.